Hey, welcome back to True-Moto-Resto. And on this video, just going to show you some of the parts that I purchased for the two ZX7s that you saw a little while ago. And yes, as I predicted, I was not able to help myself. I've started buying stuff off eBay, so stay tuned. So a week has passed since I picked up the two ZX7s, and as I said, I'm not a patient man when it comes to let's wait and see what I really need. I think that other tank is going to be leaking. There was, when I put my hand under the blue tank, I'll show you here. I suspect that it has been leaking somewhat because you kind of get this, there's like a caramel sauce coming from the seam of the tank, and my guess is that's just kind of a slow leak of fuel coming through the seam somewhere. So I did go online and I found a couple of tanks. There's actually quite a few of these tanks online, but the ones that were completely dent free were very, very expensive. It would have been $1,000 Canadian to get them here. And I bought two. One hasn't arrived yet, should be here in the next couple of days, but this one arrived today, and it was, less than half that. And yes, it does need a little bit of work, but aside from the dents that are in it, it's a pretty solid tank. It's original paint. There's no rust in it, but there are a couple of very challenging dents to pull before I think about doing any sort of body filling. So there's one obvious one there. There's a little one here, which isn't a big deal. This is the one that has me most concerned. There's quite a significant crown right here, and a very deep dent that runs through here. So that's going to be a bit of a bugger to get out, especially because the paint has kind of already come off. So I'm going to work at that. I'm going to use some of my PDR tools, my cheap PDR kit, which has worked well for me in the past, and I'll just kind of keep going at it and see what I can do. There's a couple of little dings here, which should be no big deal. There's a body line that comes down through here, which has to be preserved, and there's quite a large crease here. You can see where it's been marked with red and silver Sharpie along there. So all that's going to have to get pulled out, because once that gets dented in, it crowns and makes high spots here and there. So, you can fill the low spots, but I don't like putting more filler in than I need to. But at the same time, you can't fill the crowns away. They have to be knocked down. I'm not an expert on paintless dent removal by any stretch. I've done it a couple of times, more to reduce the amount of filling that I have to do, as opposed to ending up with something that's kind of a perfect tank like the professionals can do. Yeah, and there's another one here as well. So I think these kinds, this one is quite, although it's kind of outlined here, it actually extends kind of all the way out here. So I'm not too worried about that one. I'm not too worried about that one. I'm not worried about that. This one here is going to be a challenge, and then the long one on the other side. But I'll show you the other tank when it arrives. And I've also purchased through eBay a bunch of other stuff for the bikes, mainly for this one because it's missing more stuff. I have a set of OEM foot pegs coming. I did find one of these, but I haven't found the other one yet. I bought another set of Hoover tubes that haven't been painted. They're kind of silver originals like this. And yeah, a few other bits and pieces are on the way as well. So as I said, I'm not good at just kind of waiting to see if the thing runs, because I'll deal with that one way or the other. But yeah, the biggest expenses were the tanks. And this tank, I've got a feeling it's not going to end up being satisfactory. I'm going to guess it leaks, and it would have to be lined, and I'm not a fan of tank liners. So yeah, I needed to get another tank, and having spare ZX7 tanks is not a bad thing. Okay, so here is the other tank that I purchased. This one came out of the UK, and I think, to be honest, this is it's in better shape. There's fewer dents in it. The inside has a little bit of surface rust here and there, but I think if I can get some evapor rust, that'll take care of that pretty well. So this one I think is a much better buy. This one was okay. This is super clean inside, but the dents are a little bit worse on it. So yeah, we'll see. But I think all in all, for the price that I paid for these, not too bad. Right, so I'm just working on the bottom of the tank. See if I can. I've just been dollying this this seam edge here ever so carefully. So just put my hot glue on there for my tab. I'll let that cool down for a minute or so. I'm just gently squeezing and letting go, just kind of working the metal a little bit. And at some point that tab and the glue will let go with a bit of a pop. That's okay. I just want to keep working it like that. So I got a little bit of it out. It's kind of moving from out here, and it's kind of moving in towards the crown. Same with this one. Some of it did pop out. So I'm going to see if I can work the crown down a little bit more, and then I'll put some more hot glue on those pull tabs. And so knocked it down just a little bit more. This actually was quite pronounced all the way down here, and now it's definitely disappearing slowly but surely. Let's see what we got. So this stuff, the glue comes off pretty easy with alcohol. So I'm just working this dent a little bit here. So one thing I'm doing here is I'm just using a profile gauge just to check that I've got the contour correct for this tank. Appear not. This is the kind of a long dent that I showed you earlier. So this is the really long crease. So now you can still see the crease here, but it's much shallower. What I've been trying to do is to kind of get this body line that runs across here to come back. All right, so I've got pretty much all the dents out that I think I can get out of this. There's still a very slight one there that I pulled on it a few times and it's not really moving, so that I think I should be okay with some filler in there. Although I might take one more crack at this because I do have a very slight crown here, which I don't want to be dealing with. Crowns, like any of the high spots, are not good because you can't fill over a high spot. So that one I may work on a little bit more. Any of these others, like this one here, obviously it's not come out completely. It's a pretty heavy crease right there, but it's to the point where it's not going to take very much filler just to fill in this particular section of it. This whole area in here, if I come back a little bit, this whole area was depressed in. There was some other dents in this area, but these are now all where they should be. Using my profile gauge, I've been able to confirm really that the only spot that has to get filled is basically this right here. So that'll be good. On the front, there was a pretty good sized dent on the front. Most of that is out. What isn't coming out of there will quite easily be filled with a very slight skim of filler. And similarly here, most of this one is now out. There was a slight crown there, which seems to, at this point, I think I've got it. I might give that one more go. This one, which was really bad, again using the profile gauge, the only area that really needs any filler is this where the paint is gone. But just to give you an idea, this is these were all the pieces of glue from the glue tabs, just to show you how many pulls I had to make, because once these pop off you got to peel the glue off and start again. So it's not kind of pull the dent once and you're done. There's a lot of pulling to get these things to pop out. So I will put some Evapor-Rust in this tank when I eventually find some. And yeah, seems to be lots of controversy when it comes to rust removal in tanks, and everybody's got lots of ideas on it. But you know, there's a lot of different ways to do it. A lot of good products. Some people like vinegar, some people like Evapor-Rust, some people like electrolysis, and I think the answer is there's a lot of different ways of doing it. And for me, it really depends on what I'm trying to achieve. Sometimes a product like Evapor-Rust or Metal Rescue, or there's a whole variety of them that I have here or have used in the past, and they all work quite well. Some of them work better than others. I've used vinegar. Some people swear by it. I've had limited success with vinegar. And you know, same with phosphoric acid and muriatic acid. Again, they've all got their place. Some people prefer one over the other. I think, again, for me, it depends on what I'm trying to achieve with a particular treatment that I'm doing. And some people believe in other things more than, you know, they like one particular way and they kind of stick with that, and that's good for them, and whatever works for you is the way to go. I try different things, I've done different things, and I just find, personally for me, certain circumstances require slightly different approaches, and so I'm just kind of through trial and error, and what I've had good experiences with or bad experiences with kind of dictates kind of what I go with in any particular treatment case. So more Kawasaki ZX7 parts. This should be a foot peg. Yep, left foot peg. There are lots of right foot pegs on eBay, but yeah, only one left foot peg. So, all right, some more Kawasaki ZX7 parts have arrived. This intake cage goes inside the snorkel that feeds the airbox, and this is actually not for the two project bikes that I just picked up. This is actually for this bike. It was one of the parts that that I was missing, and so now I have that, and that can go on that bike. And so the other thing is there is a right side foot peg for the blue bike. That's for the 1990, and then this is an OEM Kawasaki handlebar, because on this bike, this is not a Kawasaki handlebar, it's something else. So that will be a nice replacement. We'll get that back to original. I think this side, it does have an original bar on it, although you can't really see it in there, but yeah, there it is. And also for the 89, I'm looking for a hugger. So I know those are tall orders, but if you know of one available, please contact me through the channel. My email is listed there in the profile section, and if you have any of those parts available that you're willing to part with, or you know where I can get them, please let me know. Thank you. All right, more ZX7 parts on eBay. Should be one more in here somewhere. There it is. There we go. Need to be refinished, but that's okay. Get that sorted out. Got another package. Couple of handlebars. clamps on the triple trees. Ones that are on one of those bikes on the 89. Looks like they've been messed with pretty badly. There's been some holes drilled here with screws and stuff sent in this side because probably they lost the end screws. So these came up on eBay for a pretty good price. This is really what I needed because I'd already bought a new handlebar, but all in all, this was pretty inexpensive, a good price, so I decided just to, these came with it, so now I own more handlebars than I need. Another package with ZX7 stuff. In here should be part of a rear fender. I say part of because, as with many of these 80s sports bikes, so many of them have the protruding piece that actually keeps the dirt off the bike at the back. Get those things cut off. So there is the rear fender, and of course it's missing the piece that you would see sticking out, but all is not lost because you can actually make the visible piece by grafting on a piece from a different bike. So the piece that you see there, this visible piece here, obviously is missing on this fender. But what I will be doing, because finding one of these with that attached is very difficult, is I'll be grafting on the taily piece off a Suzuki GSX 750, not a GSXR, but a GSXS 750. It'll get grafted on. I did that on this bike, and you know, here's how it looks, right? So, I mean, you can't tell. I mean, it's a slightly different style, but it looks like it belongs there, and it looks quite good. So I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I have another one of those fenders specifically for that purpose, Suzuki fender. So it'll get cut and plastic welded on, and that will now join the collection of ZX7 bits awaiting attention. All right, we're here in the barn. If it looks a little dark in here, it's because it's where I keep all my farm equipment, and I don't have hydro here, so no electricity in this barn. So I just wanted to show you some of the other bits and pieces that I have. This is one of the fenders that I'll be using to construct the new fender, the same one that I used when I did my other 1990. So this section of the fender will be grafted onto the base of the ZX7 fender. I've got a couple of body panels here, two tail sections left and right, belly pan sides left and right. And then over here, there's another box with more stuff. There's a couple of seats here, passenger seat, rider seat, an old battery box, twin headlights, and then a bunch of other bits and pieces, tail light. I think there's some turn signals in here, and a bunch of other foot pegs, brackets, etc. So yeah, I got a variety of things and spares to go at. If I'm sure I'll need some of that stuff as I get into this ZX7 build. So there you go. The idiot at True-Moto-Resto has jumped the gun again and prematurely purchased parts for a bike that he doesn't even know if it's going to run. I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. But anyway, here we go. I'm almost I am committed now, aren't I? So let's see what happens. Thanks for watching.